Here's my preview of the Baylor versus North Carolina men's basketball game, which is tomorrow at 11:10 Central Time on CBS. Some players to keep an eye on are obviously Armando Baycott, a 6'10" 240-pound forward that's a junior, 16.5 points per game, 1 for 8 on 3, so he's not a three-point shooting threat. 119 for 169 on free throws, 12.4 rebounds per game, 1.9 turnovers per game, 1.7 blocks per game, 0.9 steals per game. Caleb Love is another player, 6'4", 195-pound guard, that's a sophomore, 15.6 points per game, 80 for 213 on threes, 123 for 142 on free throws, 3.4 rebounds per game, 3.7 assists per game, 2.6 turnovers per game, 1.1 steals per game. Brady Manic is another player, and I recognize that name because he was at the University of Oklahoma previously. He's a 6'9", 230-pound forward. That's a senior, 14.8 points per game, 81 for 207 on threes, 41 for 58 on free throws, 5.9 rebounds per game, 0.6 blocks per game, 0.6 steals per game, 1.6 turnovers per game. R.J. Davis is a 175-pound guard, that's a sophomore, 13 points per game, 58 for 153 on threes, 77 for 97 on free throws, 3.9 rebounds per game, 1 steal per game, 3.6 per game, 1.9 turnovers per game. Leaky Black is another player, which I don't think he played that much in the last game, but I'll double check after I read all these players off to keep an eye on. He's 6'8", 200-pound guard. That's a senior, 5 points per game, 15 for 43 on threes, 30 for 34 on free throws, 4.3 rebounds per game, 2.7 assists per game, 1 turnover per game, 0.6 blocks per game, 0.9 steals per game. Kerwin Walton is a 6'5", 210-pound guard, sophomore, 3.5 points per game, 23 for 65 on threes, 7 for 7 on free throws, 0.6 turnovers per game, 1.1 fouls per game. Puff Johnson is a 6'8", 205-pound guard. That's a sophomore. 2.9 points per game, 5 for 22 on threes. So he ain't a three-point shooter. Though he did make one last game, granted, but that's a 1 out of 2. 11 for 15 on free throws. Dontrez Styles is 6'6", 210-pound guard. That's a freshman, 1.9 points per game, 2 for 12 on free threes, 8 for 15 on free throws. Justin McCoy is a 6'8", 220-pound forward. That's a junior, 1.1 points per game, 3 for 11 on threes, 10 for 13 on free throws. DeMarco Dunn is a 6'4", 184-pound guard. That's a freshman, 1 point per game, 3 for 15 on threes, 1 for 3 on free throws. And I could promise you this: when North Carolina, I'm going to start defensively first. North Carolina is 22-4 whenever they score at or above 70 points. So it is crucial for Baylor to increase their winning percentage chance to hold them below 70 because they're 3 for 5 on 3 wins, 5 losses when they score below 70. It's obvious you got to contain the 3 ball because whenever North Carolina wins, they make threes. I know you could say that for any team in general, but it's especially true with this team. And whenever they lose, they shoot below 30% on threes. Majority of the time when they lose, they shoot below 30%. It's obvious that Armando Baycott, you got to do something to disrupt him. And same with Brady Manic. You got to contain those shooters that they have. They only use 7 players for the majority of minutes, which I know you could say something about Baylor, but I'm just saying based on the stats from last game in terms of minutes spread. It's just majority of the guys, the starting 5, got the majority of the minutes. At least Baylor's was more balanced than North Carolina. So I'm not sure if fatigue is going to be a factor, but you never know. So you got to contain the drivers. You got to find a way to hit the glass hard defensively, and you cannot allow that many second chance points or get them to the rim so easily, finish around the rim so easy like last game. obviously, and limit the points and off turnovers, like I said, if I said it already, which I think I did, but I want to make sure I reiterate that. Limit the fast break points and transition points. Now, offensively, you got to make more free throws than last time. I mean, you have to do better than that. Than last time. And if Matt Meyer could step up like he did last game with a career high 22 points, now he needs to stay consistent. I don't want him to have a 22-point game and then go to next to nothing. But if he could step up, it will be huge. And same goes for James Akinjo with the double-double last game. And granted, I know Kendall Brown was dealing with strep throat, which I hope he's going to be okay for this game and get him ready to go for this one. Coming up, Flo Thamba has been really good since John's injury. 10 points and almost 8 rebounds per game and a little over a block per game since then. That would be huge. And same with Jamie Sohan. He needs to step up especially because on both ends, because he might have to guard Brady Manic or Armando Baycott. At least it's not like they have a ton of big guys. And I know North Carolina does have 2 players not playing for the rest of the year. One of them due to personal reasons, one of them due to injury. Granted. And Adam Flagler needs to step up as well. You can't have like a bad game like you did against Oklahoma in the Big 12 tournament. You can't have that happen. Of course, in general, avoid foul trouble. You got to do a better job on the foul trouble from the jump and not just, we're going to make adjustments after that. You cannot get in early foul trouble, and especially for Flo Thamba as well, because of Armando Baycott. That's the best big guy on their team. Even Brady Manic could shoot. At least he's not like, they don't have like tremendous size as I thought they did. But, that's pretty good news. And you got to hit the glass as well. Get some fast break points, second chance points, and points off turnovers as well. I do know that for a fact that 2 players on North Carolina last game combined for 11 made threes out of 13. Brady Manic is one of those, and Caleb Love is the other one. Combined for 11 threes in a game, 11 for 23 on threes by themselves. Granted, I know, Leaky Black did play last game, but still, you could tell that the majority of the minutes used for the starters were 28 minutes or more. 28 minutes for Baycott, 33 minutes for Manic, 30 minutes for RJ Davis. Caleb Love, 34 minutes. Leaky Black, 34 minutes. Puff Johnson was only 13 minutes, and Styles was 15 minutes. Puff Johnson had 11 points in the game, but we better not allow him to go off. And there's literally 3 stars on North Carolina combined for 20. That's 28 plus 23. That's 51. 68 points. That's a majority, besides 11 points off the bench from one guy. Though they did score some elsewhere on the bench, but I'm just saying it in general. And RJ Davis, I know he didn't shoot the ball well, 1 for 10 on field goals and 1 for 5 on threes, but you cannot count on him having an off game like that again. But he did have 12 assists in the game. So, you know what I'm saying. And I know they will play physical. So you got to prepare for bumps and bruises and prepare to play through contact. And this is a game that you need to find a way to win. Just to move on. And say, no matter what, we made it to the Sweet 16 despite our injuries. And of course, we know LJ Cryer as well. That's the thing. Anyways, if you like this content, hit the like and subscribe button. And I'll see you guys later. Let's get me up to 400 subscribers, one more by the end of this year.